Good afternoon, good evening. I am Travis. This is Oscar Mike Radio. It's December 10th, number 217. And I've got a special military holiday story for you. And I'm pleased to be joined by Danielle Rocco, who we have done all kinds of things together. And she's been on my show and I've been on hers. And I have her son here, Jake Bosserfisk. Did I say that right?
Yes, that is right.
Good. And we are on Oscar Mike Radio Mission Flight. Danielle, Jake, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited, Travis. Nervous and excited at the same time.
Well, Danielle, you've got two Marines above you. You know, we're trying to do all kinds of stuff to keep you safe. So just, let us, do this together and we'll be all right.
All righty. All right.
Awesome. So, Jake, I need your help. It's the holiday season. It's Christmas time. We just got through Thanksgiving. And I have been trying to tell some people what it's like for guys like you and me to be away for the holidays. And I kind of want to hear your story around that. And then we're going to kind of bring Mom into it to kind of get her view on what it's like, having her, Mom, I was a Marine, but I was still her baby. And, you're her baby away for the holidays, man. So, it's different for us, right? When we're not with the family and friends for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, it's I remember the first Christmas I'd had without my family, and it was a pretty much like a shock to me, because I woke up and I usually wake up and I'm with my brother and my mom's upstairs cooking food. My family's slowly coming down, but when I woke up in like a 10 by 10 room, white walls, and I just couldn't feel the holiday spirit, basically. And I remember just talking to my buddies that were couldn't go home. Just you could just look at them, you can see kind of how depressed and sad they were being away from home on those holidays. And especially with me, because I just loved my younger siblings and everything like that. Just like seeing them.
You actually like your siblings?
Yeah, actually. Once I'm not, terrorizing them, I actually do care about them.
Right. And so, it's funny. I had the same thing where, all the other guys who got leave chits approved, we're doing a couple of things. We're either, doing duty for the guys who want to go home or have time off with their family and friends who are close to the base, or we've got one of those, I don't know if you had one of those Charlie Brown type Christmas trees in the common area that we're trying to decorate. And we've done stuff like that, but it wasn't we didn't buy a tree. We made one out of it was some people bought the beer cans that they had laying around, or they made whatever they had that was just laying around, they would try to make a tree out of, and then we'd put whatever kind of gifts that we had in our barracks room, we'd put underneath it, write down a name and here, this is for you, and then you just open up and it'd just be like a can of a face paint or something like that. Right.
Just try to bring the cheer around. You're
trying to, right? Because you're seeing Mom sends you the picture and it's there's this beautiful tree perfectly decorated, and you're my thought was how in the world did Mom do that every year? Because my tree sucks. So,
that is so true.
Right. So Danielle, I mean, Jake is not with you for the holidays for the first time. From a mom's perspective, what was that like?
I was really sad, and all his siblings will be like, "It's because you love Jake the most," and I'm like, maybe, or maybe it's just because he's not here being a pain in my ass. I don't know, but you're a little empty, even though it's just one child's gone, and it's not now that all the kids have grown up and are out of the house, it's something different. It feels different it was definitely different when he was in the Marines, as opposed to, the youngest is in college and not coming home. It was a different feeling for me. It's different. I missed him a lot. I think I cried a lot, to be honest with you, Jake.
Well, my mom didn't handle it too well.
Did she cry a lot?
She put on a brave face, but saying goodbye was not a pleasant experience. That did not go over too well. Um, she knows that you're trying to get off the phone, and she doesn't want to get off the phone, and then you can hear the sniffles being held back, and you realize that she's going to break into tears the minute she gets off the phone with you. It was not her favorite time of the year, and she didn't understand why that lieutenant and that gunny didn't see that her baby needed to come home. God damn it! So
I kept it together, right, Jake? I don't think I ever cried in front of you. Did I?
Not like fully cried, but I remember calling you guys one time, and we ended up being on like a FaceTiming, and I could see in your face that like if you didn't like stop talking to me right there, you're gonna end up like crying and everything. And I think that's when you was like, oh, I gotta go finish making food, and you went into the kitchen and you started like cooking again. And I sat there and I talked to my brother, and I said I was like asking him what was going on over there, and then I had to leave for something.
So Jake, what did you do in the Marine Corps? Because we didn't deploy overseas in my unit. We were stationed in Arizona, but there were several times where I couldn't go home for the holidays. What was your experience like, Marine Corps wise?
From Marine Corps wise, when I was like still in the States, I would try to make it home. But I remember for a couple of my deployments, I was in Romania and Italy, and just I think being away from like out of the States kind of helped it, because I was experiencing new cultures, so I kind of had my mind I was being like distracted and stuff.
Right.
But when I was in the barracks at night and I knew it was like, oh, Christmas is tomorrow, that's when it hit me the most. Like, dang, I'm not gonna be able to really call them because the hour difference, and I'm not gonna have any signal where I'm at, so I couldn't really contact them during those times. And I think that was the worst for me, not being able to at least hear the voices of my family.
Right. And then for some of us, I mean, we're doing Thanksgiving, and we're the only country that celebrates Thanksgiving. So for everybody else, it's just another day. So, being deployed near Mexico, just another day. Spanish and Mexican restaurants were open, stores were open. It was just another day to them. So it was different that way. Christmas was different, right? Because the packages would invariably come. And this is where we found out whose mom really either, not that all moms don't care, but you found out, that some of your fellow brothers, man, didn't have a lot of family support from back home.
Yeah. During those times when you were getting packages, you could tell whose family was going out of the way to make sure that their little boy or their little daughter, whoever was there, was actually comfortable wherever they were, not with their family.
So what was it like getting a package from mom, even though you were a half a world away?
Oh, I loved it. I loved when I got those packages, even when sometimes they weren't like the things that I want, like what I wanted, but it was things I needed during the time. I remember she sent me some kind of socks. And yeah, I always get some kind of socks from her, and it was like these thick weather socks.
Yeah.
And they were better than the ones that I got issued, and I would wear those constantly.
See, you knew Danielle.
Yeah. And then she would send me I think I asked her to send me some kind of like maple syrup or something like that, and she did too, like from like our state.
Nice, guys, because like Mrs. Butterworth isn't a little syrup, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's completely different.
So for me, man, I mean, you're sitting there, right, and the packages would come, and in my battery, the buddies knew whose mom brought it and whose mom didn't. And all of a sudden, man, you'd be opening this thing and you'd have guys they didn't get so much as a card. You could tell that, family life was really like lonely for them. And I didn't know what to do, to be honest with you. I'm like, well, this is my stuff sent for me. But, if it was cookies or whatever, you share and share alike. And I think for me, one of the best times is seeing somebody else smile and share my mom's good stuff. My mom liked that, by the way. When I told her I shared, she's like, "I raised you right." I'm like, "Those are mine." But it made the holidays better. It made the holidays better. And some of my best friends, from the Marine Corps, were those guys who we sat around dude, it was a broomstick. It was a mop. We took a mop and then tied like coat hangers to it and then strung lights and tassel over it. It was bad. The WMs, the Women Marines, now they had it down. They're the ones who went out to the store and got the real tree and they got the PX golf. They had it right. We didn't.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I remember making the first tree, and it was just like whatever I could get my hands on to make it look like a tree was okay with me at that time. As long as I kind of had some kind of holiday spirit going on, then that was fine with me.
Now, did you ever have the talented like guitar player ever sing Christmas carols or whatever?
We didn't have a guy that was like super talented, but he could play a couple chords. But we didn't really sing any Christmas songs. But we had one dude that was like fabulous at doing art. Oh, yeah? And he would go around like making like the baubles and everything.
No kidding.
And he made like the star and stuff out of like paper and like crocheting it and stuff. So that was interesting.
I can't remember. We had like it was either a staff sergeant or a gunny go around, and he wanted to have like in my MOS we had each battery had 2 firing platoons. Each firing platoon had 2 firing sections, and so he knew what it was like. So he made us get together and do a contest to see which firing section could sing the best Christmas carols. Stupid stuff like that at the time it's like, why is Gunny doing, why does he even care? That you realize it's kind of really important then. So the cool thing is, one year we had a new battalion CO, and he had a battalion Christmas party. Christmas was on like a Friday or a Thursday, so he shut down everything Wednesday. And we're in Arizona, man, out there in our t-shirts. And of course, we had to do a run.
Yeah.
Nothing like a fun run, right, Jake?
Oh, man. I hate those.
Well, they're supposed to be fun moto runs, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be, until the guy who's leading it doesn't stop. When he says, "Oh, we're going to go for a nice little like 5-mile run." And then he goes, "Oh, we're going to keep on going." And it's like ends up being 15.
Right. We're just going to go around P111. That's where we did our main training. It's a 3-mile loop, coincidentally. And, I didn't hear you guys sound off, so we're going to go for another 3 miles.
Yep.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. I gave you something. So we did a fun run, which wasn't fun, as we both agree it sucks. And then we had barbecue. And I don't know about you, man. It's nice being able to wear a t-shirt in December when a lot of your family's freezing in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
So that was fun for me. And then the best thing I did is we took a couple pictures, and I sent my mom a picture of us doing the Santa contest, and that made her real happy. Did you ever send pictures back to your mom?
No, I think the only photos that she got were like of the photos that my friends took, and then they shared it on my like Facebook or my Instagram, and that's where she would see. I never really took that many photos when I was in.
Boy, well, that's a two-edged sword, right?
Yeah. Now that I'm out, I wish I took a lot more photos, or actually like saved the photos.
So my mom sent me, and I remember it was a Fuji like 35 millimeter camera, and I took, no kidding, Jake, I took like 1,000 photos, and those are now some of my most valued possessions. But then I learned the hard way that you got to be careful with what you share with mom, because yes. I'm out in the desert, right? And so we were doing just like every Marine's a rifleman, right? I had the 240. I'm crewing the 240, and I had come in, and she's like, "You're all dirty." I'm like, "Yeah, Mom. I mean, I was helping a machine gun for 12 hours. What do you expect?" "Well, what do you mean?" She's like, "We did it at night. You haven't showered yet?" I'm like, well, not exactly. So I learned, probably like you did, you got to be careful. I mean, you got to be careful. So Danielle, you're listening to all this. What's going through your mind right now?
Okay, so I'm thinking you were a lot nicer to your mom, because this is like, I remember seeing photos of Jacob. I'm like, I remember this. I think it scarred me, Jake. It definitely scarred your niece. So we're in the grocery store, and she was missing you. Talia was little then, uh, my brother's daughter. And I'm like, let's look at Jake's Instagram page. It'll be fine. So we're like, oh, look, it's a video. It's a video of Jake being tased, like when he had to get that. And she starts screaming in the grocery store and crying because it was awful. And I had to call my brother and be like, so I think your daughter is going to be scarred for life and have nightmares. And he's like, why would you do that? I was like, well, I didn't know Jake would put something like that on Instagram. Like, I thought it was going to be a cute video of him in the Marines. Ignorant Marine mom here, right here. Or the video, I should have learned then not to click on any videos of him being like punched. Like, apparently you guys do this for fun to see how hard you can punch each other in the face. Nothing a mom wants to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jake, I don't know about you. That's all part of the game, right?
Yeah, at least where I was.
Right?
But it's addicting. I saw a video and I still clicked on it and watched it. I was like, it was awful. It was like a train wreck of Marine mom. But then I was like, God, my son's kind of badass.
Well,
a little bit of that too.
Yeah, but you're still my baby, though. I'm like, okay, there's just some things we're not going to share right now.
Yeah.
So Danielle, how did you know, for instance? I mean, this is the weird thing. Like mom would send the right thing at the right time for the right holiday. How did you know that he needed the right cold weather socks? I mean, how does that go through your mind, or what goes into your mind when you pack a package for your?
Well, socks are kind of my thing. You always get socks, right, Jake? Like every
Yeah,
holiday.
I always get some.
He's got pretty good, cool sock collection, and then some are practical, like thick, and I need to keep his feet nice because that's what keeps the rest of his body up. And then some are fun, they're like lots of colors, and I don't even know what kind of socks he has on now. Probably not ones I got him. But so that was always my signature gift to him was socks. Was socks and laundry soap, which I found out. I think I yelled at you, Jake, one time because you're like, yeah, we stopped sending laundry soap. I have so much of it. I'm like, well, do you do laundry? Because I don't think I'm sending it a lot, but apparently he took the pods and they had a fight in the barracks with them. And I did yell at you for wasting them. I was like, you wasted that good laundry soap.
You can do.
Yeah, I remember that.
You can do pod fights with laundry soap in the barracks. That must have been epic.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to, but it was one of those things where, like, we had like a mandatory fun day, and we all like started drinking early, and I was like still like new, so they would mess with you and everything like that, and I don't know what led up to it. I think someone said something, and like one person threw it, and then I just took like a handful of my paws and I whipped them at them, and it just ended up happening.
Just like that.
Yeah.
As long as you got the cleanup done before the duty NCO and lieutenant came on deck, you were fine.
I think it happened on one of those days where we were actually like supposed to clean too.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
So like when they came in, it just looked like we were just throwing soap everywhere to clean. So we were fine.
Hey, Jake, who says Marines aren't smart? Right?
Yeah, no, we're smart in different ways.
Exactly. Adapting, overcoming. So, we're getting to the holidays. Christmas Day comes. The people I felt the sorriest for, man, were the guys working the chow hall, the poor cooks who had to cook, something for Christmas and be on duty the entire day. I mean, and going to the chow hall to have like Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner was, that was kind of a bummer for me, man. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, you go there for Thanksgiving food or Christmas food or whatever kind of holiday you're going to be there celebrating. And when you get there, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have some good chicken, some good turkey, some good mashed potatoes. And you get there, you're just like, this is like prison food, kind of. The chicken was always dry. The turkey wasn't good. The mashed potatoes wasn't fully mixed, so there was still some kind of powder in it.
Nothing like getting a nice big dry lump of mashed potatoes in your mashed potatoes, right, Jake?
Yeah, no, it's either that or powdered eggs. It was they could never really cook it right.
Well, a lot of us would try to, because we couldn't have microwaves or stovetop ovens in our room. I mean, we went so far as to snag some MREs one time. Because the bag nasties, like the bag lunches and breakfast we gave you were the next best thing, honestly, because you knew they had to use real eggs, real bacon for that stuff where the other chow halls. And then, just out of curiosity, just a little off topic, have you ever been to an Air Force or Navy chow hall?
Not neither of those, but I've been to an Army chow hall.
Yeah, what was that like for you?
So I went to the one in Italy, and it was a completely different experience, to be honest with you. Like, they actually had real eggs. They actually had a place where they can make omelets for you. So I was getting omelets freshly made. I was getting hash browns that was kind of freshly made. And then they had they actually had orange juice, apple juice. They had a crap load of varieties where when I was just dang, back home, I would get powdered eggs or some kind of soupy, boiled egg, It was always half-assed, and then you went to this Army base, dang, I'm at the Ritz.
I went to an Air Force base in California to pick up some Marines, and we were shocked. It's absolutely a shocking experience. They definitely roll differently than we do. That's for certain.
Yeah.
So, but it's the holidays, and there's some people that are probably like you and I both were at one time in our lives who aren't going to be, home for Christmas. And I'm just curious, we'll start with Danielle, because you've been kind of quiet during this time, Danielle. It's not bad, but it's just different.
I'm not used to my
No. It's all in love, right? It's all in love, right?
Always.
As a mom who's been through this, what would you share with another mother whose son or daughter is deployed right now and they're not home?
I think it's enjoying the little times without making them feel bad that they're not there. I never wanted Jake to see me super sad or missing him, because I felt like it would be harder. And I'm sure, like he said, he's my son, so he can read my emotions in my face. But I just always wanted to make him know that he was loved and we were proud of him. I never wanted him to hang up and feel like that mother guilt was on him. Now, I don't know if that happened or not, but that was my goal, at least, was him to just know that he was loved, he was missed, but we're so proud. And we wouldn't change it for anything. And when we see you, and we'll love you, whatever. That's my biggest advice. I'm not sure how well I did it, but that was my hope. And I think that we should do that, because our sons and daughters have enough going on. They don't need to feel bad that they're away from us.
Yeah. Jake, getting to know your mom as I have, and getting to know you in the brief time we've had, I'm kind of curious, man. What's it feel like to you, or what do you think about when you see your mom advocating for other veterans through her, coaching and devoted to a soldier outreach? What's that mean to you as someone who's served?
Oh no, I'm extremely proud. People ask me all the time what my mom does, and I told them she helps vets all the time. And I have a friend up here who's a vet, and he said that's like fantastic that your mom just like jumped into that and just started, helping other vets that are struggling. And I actually gave him my mom's book to read, and he loved it.
It's a great book, man. It's a great book. I really got a lot out of it.
Fantastic.
And that's the thing, right, man? I mean, I think, Jake, that there's moms have that perspective. Like I didn't really understand what my mom was going through until, after I got out and she started telling me how she felt, because kind of like, you, Danielle, she didn't want me feeling bad that, I was away from her and the family, and she couldn't. Again, the only time she really got irritated was when that I'm going to go down there and tell that gunny and that lieutenant. I'm like, Mom, please don't call. Don't do that, please. My first sergeant likes me today, so let's not do that. But what I'm trying to say is there's a bond you have with your son, and there's a way that you can advocate for us even after we served, that I think is significant.
Well, I always say there's like certain things in my life that were like they changed me forever. One was having Jacob when I was 16. Totally changed me forever. Jacob, I think I've told you this, Travis. I don't know how he's alive. I don't know how he became such a great man. Like, that was pure God, because there was a lot of chaos that was happening during his life. And then it changed me when he, became a Marine, through that whole thing. You can't take those things back.
Well, for me, meeting you, Jake, today, and then, knowing your mother the way I know her, today's a really special day for me, because, what you served our country and you bring that to other areas of your life, and now she's serving us, and that's having a domino effect in other people's lives. And so I think it goes back to the theme for a lot of people on holidays, where it's better to give than receive. That's the lesson I've learned from your mom. That's what I would tell you if we had never met in this context. So, Merry Christmas.
It all started a long 27 years ago, Jacob.
Yeah, it's a long road.
Well, you got some good stuff coming up. I definitely hope to have you back on and talk about that when you get all that going. I don't want to give anything away now, but folks, he's got some really cool plans for the future, COVID-19 notwithstanding. That's the thing, man. It's COVID-19, like a lot of veterans that I've talked to in the last 6 months, our community is the community saying, COVID-19, forget it. I'm going to forge ahead with what I'm trying to do. And I don't hear that a whole lot in the civilian population, but I see that a lot in the veteran population. I mean, I'm just curious, what do you think that is about us that allows us to do that versus other people?
I think it's the training, and then after that, it's just the experience of being in that, constant hardship, dealing over with struggle all the time. So when we got out, it's just these little hiccups that are like road bumps for people, or just little, nothing for us. It's like a little bump on the shoulder. Just push through. I can't let this stop me. I got plans.
Right. Semper Gumby, embrace the suck.
Right?
Just embrace the suck, man.
It's going to suck. Don't let it stop you.
You can't stop. It's one foot in front of the other. Absolutely. So you were a Paris Island Marine, right?
Yes.
San Diego, but still, no.
You can still love each other. You guys can still love each other.
Of course I love him. Of course I love him.
Oh, no, it's completely different experience from one. You guys got the hills up there, and I got the
sand, the gators,
the sand fleas and stuff like that.
No, I mean, one of my buddies said, yeah, some guy at Paris Island, this is years ago, got bit by a rattlesnake. I'm like, that must have gone over well with Mom. Well, the thing is, Danielle, real quick, is out in Cali, when we were in Camp Pendleton, we were told if a snake comes up to you, that to let it bite you. You can't kill the snake, because the snake's government property, and that's a crime.
Yeah.
So let the snake bite you first, and then call your drill instructor, and he will take care of you. For real, that's what we were told. You can't kill a snake. Yes.
Yeah, anything on the bases are technically government property. They were told us the same thing about like the gators in North Carolina, on Paris Island and everything like that. It was like, hey, if there's a gator, you got to get away, but you can't kill it and stuff like that.
Look at your mom's eyes right now. Look at your mom's eyes, Jake. They're like, what? Oh my God, that was worth the price of admission right there, Jake. High five, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why he never told me really any story, anything. Like when I told you, Travis, I said, he's a man of few words. Like if you don't ask him directly, he's not going to answer it. And then I'd be like, why did you tell me? And he's like, well, you didn't ask. I'm like, I didn't know to ask that question. Like no one would know to ask these questions.
Because it's been beaten into your son and I that you just answer the question only and do not provide any more context.
Yeah.
I mean, Danielle, you have done that with me. You're like, why didn't you tell me about that? Why didn't you expound on that? Well, you really didn't ask me, so I'm just sorry.
I even do that with my job now. Is that people ask me questions and I will give them the bare minimum answer, and then my boss would come over and ask me the same question. It's like, we kind of need this information from you. I was like, oh, sorry. You just got to ask me the right question. And I'll give you the right answer.
Yeah, we don't want to give too much. That causes problems. More
but I
work.
like to know things. I'm nosy. I want to know the innards of what you're thinking and why. And I want to know if you're deployed and you get glasses. I don't want to show up you walking to me when I'm welcoming you home and being like, oh, look, that's a cute guy. I hope he has a family coming. Oh, and it's you. I didn't even know it was you because you had glasses. And his response was, well, you didn't ask if I got glasses, Mom.
Well, it wasn't part of the, I can totally understand why you wouldn't say anything, Jake. Like, I totally get it. I mean, Danielle, you've dealt with that with me. You've asked me questions, and it's like, wait a minute, Travis, I didn't get what I wanted from you. Why? I'm like, it's just, hey, man, it's not personal, right, Jake?
It's not. It's just
the way we are.
It happens.
Just the way we are. And you love us anyway, don't you?
I do. I do want to kill you, but I love you.
There you go. And Jake, have you heard the Lead with Love?
No.
Oh, really? I've gotten the Lead with Love talk several times on the plane to Nashville. Lead with Love. So that's different. We'll talk about that next time. But
no, Jacob. When I talk with Love with Jacob, I said, listen, if you can't bring her home to me, do not even waste your time with her. That is my version of Lead with Love with Jacob.
Okay. Well,
right, Jake?
Next time, Jake, we'll talk about that.
Every time she tells me that. If I can't bring her home, or if I don't feel comfortable, then don't even bring her.
Well, I mean, your mom is a wise woman, and I've learned the hard way to just take her advice straight up. And I got you right here, bro. So this is just one of those times doing this that I really have a great time where I don't have to really, don't really want to, go negative, and I can have a really uplifting thing, because this time of year is hard for people. It's hard for veterans who have served, who weren't close to their family. It was hard for guys who are in, and as you said, Jake, there's a lot of guys who are in who are lucky to get a Christmas card from somebody who allegedly cares about them.
Yeah.
And they have to watch mail call with everybody getting their stuff, and they get nothing.
Yeah, I had a couple friends that were like that. And anytime I got anything like big from her, and things that I obviously wanted, I kept, but I would share with them, because you can tell, like doing those roll calls when they got mail, people getting big packages, you can just see it in their face, like, dang, why am I even here right now? Let's just go back to my room, because I'm not going to get anything.
No, it was sad. So, I mean, that's, share and share alike. And, look at the look on their face made it all worth it.
Yes, it does.
Certainly did. Well, I would definitely like to have you two back on, maybe during a Irreverent Warriors hike, maybe when we, get to see your future going and the way you want to do. I don't want to give it away because it's so cool that, I want it to incubate. But it's really been great having you on to kind of get me in the holiday spirit today, because sometimes it's hard, man.
Oh, it's definitely hard. And thanks for having me. This is very interesting. This is the first time I did something like this, and I love how it's about like how dealing with vets and especially people who went in dealing with holidays that don't have that family, mentality where they are close to their family and just dealing with it.
Well, it's really cool, and I'm just going to close with this. Danielle, have you learned anything about the Marine mind that you didn't know before today?
Well, I loved listening to the stories and the interchange between you guys, especially before. I know I came on, I didn't even say anything. I just listened, because when I talk to my son, it's like a mom, even though he's going to be 27 coming up here, like I'm his mom. I'm always going to be his mom. I'm never going to be his best friend. I think we do have these talks. Jacob, I'm your mother. I am not your friend. You will listen to me and just do what I say. Just shut your mouth. That is it. So to hear him talk as a man and talk with another Marine and go back and forth, it gives me a different perspective of him as a man instead of Jacob as my son.
He's still your baby, isn't he?
He is. He always will be.
Awesome.
Stuck with it, Jake. Sorry.
I'm okay with that.
Well, listen, folks, Danielle has her book devoted to a soldier. She also has her daily dose with Danny. I'm not going to ask your question, but I am going to tell you that today has me feeling especially savage as we approach the holidays. Like, I'm not going to be down. These are, Jake, this is the kind of a story that kind of like, lifts my spirits when we have all this negativity going on in life and in the world, and, helps me believe that, Santa Claus is real in a way.
Yeah, there's little miracles working around every corner if you just got to look.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, folks, I'm going to have the link to Danny's show and her book in the post. Jake has some cool stuff going on in 2020. Perhaps he'll come back on and share that with us. We will see. Danielle and I have a busy 2020 first quarter coming up. It's going to be savage. It is, Coach. And I'm going to close with this. Just Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This is 217 closing down. The mission is in flight.